Hey guys, in this video we're making our 4 best sliding knot bracelets. The first design has a single sliding knot. The second one is a double sliding knot bracelet, and this one doesn't have tails that come outside the sliding knots. Next up is a sliding knot that slides apart and then together to adjust the size of your bracelet. Our fourth one is the bracelet with a square knot slider, so both cords slide inside the bracelet to adjust it. First up, it's the single slider. Now we start by holding our cords overlapping with this left side cord on the top. Now readjusting my left hand to hold it between my left index finger and thumb, making sure we've got a little bit of length on this top cord here, and then taking it down the back and around our finger for our first loop. Working towards the left and making 3 full loops around our finger. Now you should have your 3 loops here, so we gently remove them from our finger and bend the end of our cord around and place it down all 3 loops, pulling it out the right hand side and gently pulling our knot down nice and tight and tidy. Now that sliding knot should slide along the other cord, so there's your first sliding knot bracelet. Now onto the double sliding knot bracelet. Start by laying the cord down with the cords overlapped and this left side cord at the top. Now picking it up and holding it in our left hand with this left side cord at the back. Making sure we've got a little bit of length on this cord here, and then bringing it over the front, down and out the back to form our first loop here. Then again over the front, down and out the back for our second loop. Now turning the end of our cord around and placing it down both loops, pulling it out the right hand side and pulling that knot down tight. Now swapping the bracelet onto the opposite side, again holding it in our left hand with this left side cord at the back, making sure we've got a little bit of length on this cord, and then bringing it over the front, down and out the back to form our first loop here. And again, over the front, down and out the back for our second loop. Now bending the end of our cord around and placing it down both loops, pulling it out the right hand side and pulling that knot down tight. Now your 2 sliding knots should slide along for a double sliding knot bracelet. Now onto the third design, which is the knot that slides apart and then together. Start by laying your cord down in a U shape with the ends pointing upwards. Now bring each end down and around itself to form a loop, bringing the end through the loop to form a simple overhand knot. We want the loop sitting on the inside of the U shape and doing the same on this side as well. So bringing that cord around to form a loop, bringing the end through the loop to form another knot. Now don't pull them tight just yet, but I'm just working them along so that I've got sort of a bracelet size at the bottom here. Now picking it up, we place the right side end down the left side loop and the left side end down the right side loop. Now pulling the ends and pulling the knots tight. So you should be able to gently pull the bracelet open and pull the ends to pull it closed. Now onto the last one, the square knot slider. Now forming a bracelet shape and overlapping the cords here, I like to have the overlapped part on the right hand side here. Now for our square knot, we do need one more 40 centimeter length of our cord. So we start by placing it underneath where the cords overlap, setting it in the middle of the cord. Now starting our square knot, we bring the left side cord around across to the right hand side, leaving a little loop on the left here. Now we bring the right side cord down over this other cord and gently pass it underneath, to bring the end up that loop on the left hand side, pulling both ends tight. Now for a square knot we alternate each stitch. So this time we bring the right side cord around across to the left, leaving a little loop here on the right hand side. Now bringing this left side cord down over that other cord and gently passing it underneath to come up this loop on the right hand side. Pulling both ends tight. And now it's back to a left side stitch. So just alternating and repeating these stitches until your square knot is as long as you want it to be. Then cut the tails off on the sides of your knot and gently melt it with a lighter to fuse it together. Be careful not to melt it too much because you still need this knot to slide along. So that's your square knot slider. Both cords should slide along inside the knot. To finish your bracelets, you just want to tie some simple overhand knots as stopper knots on all of the bracelets except for the double slider, which doesn't need it. So just tie your stopper knots and then cut the tails just outside the knots, singeing with a lighter so they don't fray.